I was walking into 7-Eleven the other day, and, it's just a place I like to hang out or whatever. It's like a fun place. And I was online, and this guy walked in. He was kind of covered in newspapers and smelled. And he looks at the register guy, and he goes, "Hey, you piece of shit. You fucking sold me the wrong lotto numbers last week. You're the reason I didn't win." And the guy behind me, and he goes, "And you, motherfucker, you're the reason I spilled Modelo all over myself. I'm gonna fuck you up." And then he looked at me, and he goes, "Oh, hey, man." And he walks up. Am I the hobo whisperer? What happened? See you at the boxcar. You bring the beans. I bring the butthole. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Germain!
Hello. Hello. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So I want to quit stand-up. I'm hoping this is the last time I have to do it. I want to book a big role in Hollywood. To give you an idea how good I am at auditioning, 3 weeks ago, I auditioned for the Mucinex guy, and they told my agent they were looking for someone more likable. Yeah, you know that guy made out of boogers? Well, we just don't think you're charming enough for it. I'm sorry. But I do have a list of roles that I think I would be really great in. So if there's any big Hollywood producers or directors here, if I could read these off, that would be great. Okay. Janitor who cleans up his own throw up. Pervert at rest stop. Pervert at grocery store. Pervert in prison. Pervert in Paris. Perverts of the Caribbean. Fat guy 2. Fat guy 3. Guy who was skinny but is now fat guy 4. Fat perverts. Guy eating from trash. Guy living in trash who says, "Get out of here!" Ryan done with a shellfish allergy, and a guy who shits on Nancy Pelosi's desk. So, any of those, I really think I could land it, I lived in New York for a couple of years when I first got out of college. And then I lived in LA for a couple of years. I think the big difference between New York and LA, in LA, people are addicted to living healthy. And in New York, people are addicted to working to death, In LA, it's like I woke up, I thanked the universe, I complimented my plants so they grew faster, I sold off my healing crystals to support my crystal meth habit. Opposed to New York, where it's like, I woke up, I thought about killing myself, I got on the subway, watched a homeless guy eat a pigeon, I got to work, got fired, got a new job, realized I was pansexual, saw a Rangers game, finished my novel, and tucked my kids to bed at night. Because I'm in New York, I'm gonna keep doing this shit till the devil drags me to hell. Thank you. No, I do. I live in this meat-packed city. They have canoe tours in New York City. Did you know that? You can get a canoe tour here in New York City. Get a beautiful view of the Hudson. How does that work? It's like on the left we have the Brooklyn Bridge, built in the 1800s, and someone's jumping off. To the right, oh, it's a lovely otter. Oh no, it's a dead sex worker dressed as an otter. Only in New York, everybody. Only in New York. I was walking down the street the other day, And there's this guy that was right next to me, and I was just walking past him on like 6th Avenue, and he looks and he just goes, "Men's spa? What the fuck is that shit?" It's like, bro, if men's spa offends you, New York City is not the city for you. Across the street, there's a Twink and a Baby Bjorn. And 4 blocks up, you can get the cast of Stomp to perform your abortion. So. Should have gotten trash cans or something. I'm a married man. Thank you. Sorry, one girl depressed enough here to fuck me. It is not your night. You're gonna have to fuck the guy at the big buck hunter machine. Instead, we clean up the same. My wife, she's awesome, man. She's a lot better. Thank you. She's a lot better looking than me. She's 44. She looks like she's 34, but she's from Long Island, so she sounds like she's 67. I got home the other day, she had a bikini wax, and I'm like, I want to fuck right now. And she's like, thanks, a Korean woman used tweezers on my pussy. I'm like, or I'll just read a book. That's how she talks. I swear to God, like she Freaky Friday'd with a 95-year-old longshoreman, you know? Like, I expecting one day we get done fucking, she hops up, takes the zipper down, and is like, I've been Danny DeVito the whole time. Like, why am I coming harder, you know? It's the only way I can do it now. Put on twins. I do know I don't have, like, the biggest dick in the world from my wife. Like, this was, like, the second time we were hooking up, and I took my pants down, and she goes, wow, you have such gigantic balls. Okay, baby, that's not a compliment, that's a medical condition. No girl is like, I can't wait to see that guy's balls. Maybe you can slap him in my ass like an old medieval door knocker. Is the pussy home? No. She is not. Sir? My wife, she does this annoying thing where, like, I'll be, like, watching a game and I'll be rooting for a player, and then she'll yell out the crimes they've been accused of. I'm like, touchdown! She's like, hit his wife, hit his wife. Like, baby, you should do commentary. Hit his wife, throws it deep to brought gun to the airport, and it is intercepted by 12 masseuse lawsuits. Coming up next, the Chris Brown Pepsi halftime show. But we were finally able to, go on our honeymoon after this whole pandemic, this whole fucking weird thing we went through. Went on our honeymoon, lovely little spot in the Caribbean. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Epstein Island, really nice. No, we went to St. John, but it's right next to Epstein Island. So, I had to check it out, you know what I mean? What am I going to Cleveland, not see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Come on. It's the one thing they have. We boated past it. I looked, just a normal island. I don't know what I thought I was going to say. Like I was going to look into binoculars and then Woody Allen was going to be looking back at me. An old guy dressed in white comes out with a cane and he's like, welcome to very much the opposite of Jurassic Park. I try to get away on my Land Rover and my water starts shaking and I'm like, oh no, it's a T-Rex. It's just a giant Cosby dropping pills. You're right, he didn't do it. But yeah, man, I think we're pretty good. Me and my wife, we talk in like funny cartoon voices, but like, look, I know if you're single or new in a relationship, it's super fucking lame. You're right. But here's the thing. Nobody's been divorced in a funny voice, you know? Nobody's like, I think we're moving farther and farther apart, you know? Who's Greg from work? Why does he have a picture of your butthole? You know, that's also a fun voice to give bad news with if you're a surgeon. Sorry, you're never gonna waka again. Anyway. But yeah, I think we're doing good, man. When you're married, there's no games. You know, when you're dating, there's a lot of games. When you're married, the only game is, are we getting a divorce? That's it. Get divorced or die trying. Because you never know. My parents were together for over 30 years. 30 years! And they got divorced, I swear to God, out of nowhere. I found this out, I swear to God, from an email from my dad. The email in the subject said, some not great news. I'm like, oh, did we not get tickets to the Minions Rise of Gru? What happened? Because that's how you open an email about the Minions. And then I started reading email, and at first I was impressed. I'm like, oh, he finally figured out how to write an email and take the caps lock off. This is great. And then I got about halfway through, and I'm like, this one should have been all caps, Dad. This was the fucking all caps email. I found out the last fight they had, I swear to God, my dad was helping my mom fill out her Match.com profile. Which sounds like the worst Match.com commercial ever. Maggie, what are your hobbies? I don't know, hiking. Hiking? We don't hike. That's because you don't ask. That's because you don't want to. Why did you change? Because you stayed the same. Match.com. Because murdersuicide.org was already taken. But, you know, me and my wife, we still keep it fresh, bro. Still on that fuck train. You know what I'm talking about? Express, local, mostly express. A train nonetheless. One time we were fucking around, and she started calling me Poppy. And I'm like, look at me. Like, I'm not a Poppy. You know, like, if anything, I'm a step Poppy, you know, like the kid goes like, you're not my fucking Poppy. And I'm like, I'm fucking trying, Sharon, you know. Fuck. She was the first woman who's stuck a finger in my ass. And let me tell you, I've been living a lie my whole life. That shit, chef's kiss. The only thing is, like, when we did it, my butthole was ready for an appetizer, and her thumb was like main fucking course, you know? So I'm like, oh, that feels good. Then Pop, no, you've awoken the Kraken, you know? She's like, what? I'm like, take it out. But she took it out too fast, so I had to like clench my butt cheeks together to prevent a BP oil spill from happening. Like, there should have been a representative from BP in front of my butthole. Like, we did everything we could to stop the leaking, but we couldn't save the sea turtles. And then she took her thumb out and she's like, it's gross. I'm like, wash it. She's like, I don't want to look at it. I'm like, close your eyes. She starts going to the bathroom with her eyes closed and her thumb outstretched. She looked like Ray Charles trying to hitchhike, you know? She gets to the bathroom, washes her finger, comes back. She's like, you want to try the other finger? I'm like, not before I put a ring on it, because I just found the one. Guys, if your woman is about to go back into that cave to rescue some more Chilean miners, then you fucking make it official. She did fulfill a sexual fantasy of mine. I won't say what it is. Hand job at Chinese buffet. But No lotion, just how I like it. I was like, well, what do you want? You know, you gave me one, I should give you one. She's like, well, I want to peg you. And I said, okay. And I didn't know what pegging was. Does everybody here know what pegging is? Okay, yeah, we're in Brooklyn. It's the state bird here. If you don't, well, here, let me ruin your night. It's when a woman or a man who's been in a terrible accident applies a dildo to their front and penetrate. This bit alienates both liberals and conservatives, you know? Because conservatives are like gross and liberals are like, we don't want you either, you know? But it's 2020 at the time. I'm a woke guy. I'll get pumped in the ass by my wife. I'll try it. Hashtag her story. So I tried it and not for me. I don't know how you gay guys do it. I made a sound I didn't know a living thing could make, you know? I literally went, I sounded like Scooby-Doo queefing out a mystery, you know? But the second time wasn't as bad, so, what? If I'm gonna get fucked in the ass, I'm not gonna be fucking a pussy about it. Come on. I don't know if you guys do this. Dolphins are the one animal besides humans that have sex for pleasure. Did you guys know that? What creepy marine biologist brought that to the table? It's like, hey guys, I've been watching a lot of these fishes fuck, and the dolphins, well, they're into it. It's like, we know, Greg, you bring it up at every fucking meeting. This one's a squirter. It's a blowhole, Greg. It's a blowhole. Let's do something a little bit more, you know, decent. Hunter Biden is the closest I've personally felt to representation in the White House, you know? Because I can't fix global warming or stop racism, but I could smoke crack and bang my dead brother's wife. I could do that. Am I right? Boom! The only thing that guy's guilty of is having a good time. Hey now. Hunter Biden is living the life George W. Bush should have. And hats off, Hunter. Hats off. Fucking sell our state secrets for fentanyl. I don't give a shit. These Republican operatives, they were trying to sell Ashley Biden's diary for a while. And I'm like, I don't want to read fucking Ashley Biden's diary. I want to read Hunter's diary. It's not even words, just like pictures of penises and vaginas. And then he's like, the hooker wouldn't take crypto, frowny face, you know. I voted for Joe Biden. I campaigned for Joe Biden. I gave money to Joe Biden. It's been a little rough. I gotta be honest with you. This whole presidency, it feels like that moment when you realize your dad can't fight, you know? Like he's doing this with his hands and shit. Like it's less of a presidency and more of a study of elder abuse. This was like 2 years ago when he fell off a bike. Everybody was just like, ha ha ha, he fell off a bike. I was like, what the fuck's he doing on a bike? Who put him on the fucking bike? North Korea? Like, when you're 79, your goal shouldn't be peace in Israel, okay? It should be getting to the pharmacy without help from the church. That's it. Joe Biden is what would happen if JFK got shot, survived, and did a speech immediately afterwards. But I voted for him. I did, you know? Trump, racist. Biden, also probably racist. But he doesn't know he's racist, and that's a step in the right direction. You know? Trump was just like, Haiti's a shithole country. Biden's like, these blacks are just as good at math as they are basketball. And you're like, still better than Hillary, what can I say? Still better. I do wish I had voted for Bernie Sanders. I think that was probably a mistake that I made. I couldn't get behind him because he always looks like the guy who's online at a pharmacy yelling at you, you know? It's like, this is the pickup, not the drop-off, you know? He's got like that fucking finger that curls, too. It's like a witch's clit or something. My favorite politician is John Fetterman because he spent 2 weeks in the Senate before going, fuck it, I'm going to the mental hospital. That's it. He went in, he saw Marjorie Taylor Greene on a unicycle juggling fetuses. She's like, every one of these is precious. And he's like, Bellevue it is! Bellevue it is! People are like, he's unfit for office. I'm like, have you looked at the guy? He's unfit for any office. He shouldn't be drafting constitutional law. He should be guarding the Addams family. That's more his speed. My favorite political pundit is Alex Jones now. I didn't like him 3 years ago, but now that he's lost all the money, he's actually a lot of fun. Because he still goes on the crazy rants, but then he'll have to apologize for a rant he cut 3 years earlier. They're making the frogs gay! They're putting little knots and glitter into the water! They're making them gay! They're making them gay! But first, I want to apologize to our good friends at Chobani Yogurt. You guys aren't filled with immigrant rapists, just delicious milk and honey. Yep. Next, why Harriet Tubman was a lizard person, you know? But these guys, they run for office. It's so crazy. I don't know, these guys run for office and they forget they have a past, you know? Somebody's like, I'm running for the Attorney General of Georgia. It's like, that's great, Mason. Do you still have that boy in your basement? I do, shit. Really should have thought of that. Perhaps next time I shall Google myself. Like, I haven't done anything close to that, and I still, my campaign would be over the first press conference. You know, like, I'm Dan St. Germain, I'm running for Senate. Mr. St. Germain, in 2016, did you sit in a handicap seat at a movie theater, and when someone actually handicapped showed up, you pretended to have a seizure? I don't remember. Mr. St. Germain, in 2017, did you get drunk and interrupt the performance of Dear Evan Hansen by screaming, "Get to the butt fucking"? I don't remember. Mr. St. Germain, in 2018, did you drunkenly tweet, "I don't care what Harvey Weinstein did, Paddington 2 is a masterpiece"? Mr. St. Germain, in 2020, I shit my pants to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, yes. I cast a dark spell on my dungaroos. Thank you. I'm more liberal than conservative. I don't look particularly liberal. I look like the ghost of a Confederate general. I realize that. And one that really, really believed in it, you know? I look like an animatronic woodland creature you saw on Splash Mountain. Like before you dropped, you know? It's like, don't go in there. There's danger up ahead. But about 10 years ago, I said America's gonna get like super liberal or super conservative. And what happened was both. They both happened at the same time. And now, you know, there's no United States. It's just states. And depending on the state you land on, that's the America you get that day. You know, like in 10 years in New York, abortion will be an app. And in Alabama, if you think of a baby, you'll have to keep it, you know? But it's not a real baby. Hey, you thought it, Jesus heard it, get to work. In New York, Lizzo will be dancing in a thong made out of Benjamin Franklin's kite. Alabama, Lizzo will still be dancing in a thong, but then halfway through, you'll be like, wait a second, that's Chris Christie in blackface. In New York, there'll be 300 pronouns. In Alabama, you'll be able to marry a gun. It's not gay if it's a gun and not a cock. Yeah! Let's go, Brandon. Brandon's what I call my butt pussy. All right. We have any parents in the audience tonight? Any parents? Couple here. Okay. This is the best way to keep your kids away from pedophiles. Make them creepy. Nobody wants to fuck a creepy kid. Nobody. I'm serious. This is a PSA. This isn't even a joke. I'm just trying to help you guys. Seriously, like, the van pulls up, opens the door. Hey, kid, come on inside. Kid holds up a dead cat. They said it had 9 wives. I'm not looking for anything serious right now, you know? It's not you. It's a little bit you. I'm a true crime junkie. I love true crime, part of the true crime community, which the true crime community, you have to either one, be covered in cat hair, or too uninteresting to be murdered. Like, I love true crime podcasts, but they'll have like advertising in the middle of the podcast, and it really fucks with the flow of the whole episode. Like, Teresa's body was found, her arms and legs dismembered, her genitals exposed, a letter stapled to her chest that said there are 3 more. But an easier way to send letters would be stamps.com. Just use the promo code Teresa's Stump and get your free stamps today. That's AMP, not UMP. Fucking 2 years and we're gonna have true crime conventions, you know? They don't have them already. Like, all these girls showing up like as like the slutty version of OJ's glove. For $20, somebody pushes you down a staircase, you know? Casey Anthony restaurant, kids eat free. Me and my wife, we love Dateline. That's our favorite show, Dateline. Which, if you're married, I recommend Dateline because it's the show where they'd be like, and then they found both of her ankles in the meat grinder, and you're like, see, I'm not that fucking bad. Not old meat grinder Mike over here, you know. Keith Morrison's the greatest host of all time. He's better than Johnny Carson, better than Howard Stern, Diane Sawyer. I don't care. He is the greatest because he has a beautiful intro that immediately gets dark. He's like, Janine was like Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Flowing red hair, piercing eyes, and they're both found at the bottom of the ocean. My wife gets nervous because crime's gone up in New York, and she's nervous that she's gonna get abducted, you know? And I'm like, honey, you're 44. That ship has sailed. That's not an Amber Alert, that's a life alert. My wife's hot, but no kidnapper wants to deal with a 40-year-old fucking woman. You know, brings her back to the place, throws her in his fuck dungeon, then puts a water in front of her, and she's like, you know, a coaster under this would be nice. I'm calling the cops on myself. is frustrating. Very frustrating. I love Batman. Did people see the new Batman? If you haven't seen it, it's a guy who dresses up as a bat. He fights crime. But they modernized everything, you know? They modernized everything. Like, in this one, like, the Riddler, he's a serial killer. And Batman, he's emo. And Alfred, still a butler, still a weird-ass fucking butler. Like, that's the most unrealistic character for me in the whole Batman series. Because what billionaire that you know is going to listen to his help? You know? At what point is Jeff Bezos going to be like, let me see what my TaskRabbit thinks, you know? Here's a realistic conversation between Bruce Wayne and Alfred, okay? It would be Alfred coming into the, master dining room, and Bruce Wayne's like eating steak, and he's like, Master Wayne, I found a way for us to beat the Penguin. And he's like, oh, that's great, Alfred. How about you Swiffer my fucking bathroom? How about that? That's why I pay you to be here. Yeah, right now, Swiffer in front of me. Don't look at me, fucking Swiffer. Yeah. Now pretend you're my dead parents. Yeah, it's been a rough year for me. My mom passed away. She had signs of alcoholic dementia, which is the coolest way to get dementia. Oh, your mom got dementia for being old? My mom got dementia for being born to rock. This is us. This is her kicking us. Since my mom passed away, me and my family have been fighting a lot. We've been at each other's throats. But, if you knew my mom, that's what she would have wanted. So, we're just trying to make sure we do good. My sister called me up the other day, and she told me she talked to a medium who talked to my mom, and it was nice. She said my mom's having a good time in heaven, and that one of the things she's doing in heaven is taking care of cancer kids who died of cancer in her heaven, which made me think, how much does it gotta suck to be a kid that dies and you get to heaven and you find out you still have cancer? That is very rough. Oh, I'm finally here after all the chemo and radiation therapy. Jesus comes down, hello, my son. You lived a great life. Oh, I'm just so glad to be here and to be cancer-free. About that. You start chemo tomorrow. Welcome to heaven. It's stage 4 up here. Yeah, so she's dead. But my dad almost died too. He got a encephalitis that went to his brain, and he hallucinated for about a month straight. I swear to God, it was fucking crazy. One of the hallucinations that he had, I swear to God, he thought that Tina Fey was trying to kill him. Dad, if anybody from SNL is gonna kill you, it's Alec Baldwin. There's a history. By the way, I'm glad he's not going to jail. We can't fucking start arresting actors for being stupid, okay? We're gonna create a bunch of annoying concentration camps that way. Dachau, but they keep playing the Wicked soundtrack. Fuck that. Speaking of hard jobs, man, there's such a difference, just being in the hospital for as long as I was with my dad and then my mom. There's such a difference between a nurse at 26 and a nurse at 46. A nurse at 26 is I just want to help people. I want to make people feel better. I want to help people. But opposed to a nurse at 46 is like, the only thing that gets me through the morning is the sound of boo. Looks like Timmy got to meet the Queen like he wanted. I have been smoking weed. I haven't been drinking, but I have been smoking weed. The only problem is when you drink and then don't drink. Both non-drunks and drunks don't want to hang out with you. Like non-drunks are like, Dan, you're killing yourself. And drunks are like, Dan, you're killing the vibe. What the fuck? What is wrong with you? But you know, here's the thing. I've never had like really horrible realizations the next day on weed. You know, like on weed the most is I wake up and I'm like, oh fuck. Did I order a calzone last night? Opposed to alcohol where it's like, oh fuck. Did I kill the guy who gave me a calzone last night? I gotta dye my hair and move to Mexico. I used to do cocaine. Cocaine used to be legal. Early 1900s, late 1800s, you could go to a doctor and get cocaine prescribed to you. How did that even work? It's like, hey doc, I got a bad case of heebie-jeebies from all these goosey flappers. Is that why everybody talked like that back then? Was everyone just on cocaine? Where it's like, 1 for you, 2 for she, and 8 ball for me, and many more. Thank you. Cocaine, everybody. You know, when I was growing up, like they always told us to be scared of death metal and gangster rap. But the music that has fucked me up more than anything else has got to be Jimmy Buffett, without a doubt. Every single song. He's just, hey, I lost my family, but I got a rum coke. I live in a trailer because I got liver failure. Jimmy Buffett fans are called parrot heads because they're so drunk, the only thing they can do is repeat your words back to you. Sir, you're under arrest. Sir, you're under arrest. It's coming from the mayor of Margaritaville. But I did 12-step meetings where I was a timer at a 12-step group, which is a really weird job. You have to cut people off for going over time, you know? So somebody's like, so there I was on the Jersey State Turnpike selling my last toe for heroin and end time. Come back next week, we'll find out what happened to the fingers, so. Then I did Zoom meetings, because the pandemic, you had to do all these 12-step meetings in Zoom groups, and they still had Zoom bombers. And it was so fucking awkward. You know, so somebody's like, so yeah, I used my daughter's college fund to buy some Tina and stay in Vegas for the next 4 months, and then all of a sudden you'll hear Borat go, nice, followed by John Cena's theme music, and then a 70-year-old black dude playing with his nipples. And then we all drank. We all drank after that, because that's what you do. I have gone to rehab. This is the funniest thing that happened to me in rehab. This was 10 years ago. I was outside smoking cigarettes, because that's what you do in rehab. You smoke cigarettes. Talked about how, you know, you called Buzz Lightyear a cunt at your daughter's Toy Story party. Whatever got you there, you know. Fucking go, you think you're gonna go to space? Fuck you. I got your Woody right here. We're outside smoking cigarettes, and this van pulled up, and this girl comes out of the van, and she looks at us, and then backs to the van. Us, van. Us, van, and then she goes, fuck you! You said we were going to the Apple store! Her parents had told her they were buying her an iPad, and they brought her to rehab instead. Which is the greatest episode of Punk'd I've ever heard. And then she just starts running down the road, like power, like fucking, like, fuck you, like, fuck. And then the parents look at us like, do something. We're like, run, junkie, run, you know? We'll see you in California. Let's do Oxy, but this time responsibly. Anyway, guys, that's how I met Lana Del Rey, so really nice. However. All right. Do you know in McDonald's now they're serving adult Happy Meals? Did you guys know that? Somebody from McDonald's is going through a very hard time. And you get toys. Like you should at least get adult shit. You know, like chicken nuggets. You get some Motrin, like cheeseburgers, some Icy Hots, a McFlurry, a bullet, and a gun, you know? I know like a lot of guys. I've been friends with some people who've been canceled or whatever. A lot of people have been canceled. And you know what hasn't been canceled though? Subway sandwiches. That place that I've been eating for 20 years because a fucking pedophile told me it was healthy. And I just keep coming back. You know that place where you have a bite and you're like, I think that was food? Subway. Was that a sandwich or a melted wallet? Subway. It is. We found out their spokesperson, not just a pedophile, like super pedophile. Like if pedophilia was the NBA, he'd be the 1996 Chicago Bulls of pedophilia. We found out their bread is made from the same substance as yoga mats. We found out their tuna isn't real tuna, but they won't tell us what it is, but they told us the bread's made out of yoga mats. So what the fuck is in the tuna? At this point, they could bring Jared back. They could. Sorry, guys. Went away for eating too fresh. Let's just hope that's not how he lost the weight, everybody. You guys have been a great audience. I've done a lot of bad shows before. I did a show at the Fort Lauderdale Hard Rock Cafe and Casino. Yeah, I believe Lauderdale is Spanish for pregnant woman that still smokes. Think about a Hard Rock in Fort Lauderdale. Hard Rock in New York and London has got all the cool shit. You know, it's like, here's the guitar Jimi Hendrix set on fire. Here's the microphone that Janis Joplin held. But in Fort Lauderdale, it's like, here's the napkin Fred Durst wrote the lyrics to Nookie on. And here's the dumpster we found vanilla in. And here's puddle of mud. Not even memorabilia. We just have them. We also do light yard work. I don't know if you've ever been to Florida before. Florida's amazing, you know, because it's got the worst white people, the worst black people, the worst Latino people, the worst Asians, the worst gays, the worst straights. It is the Epcot of people who should have been aborted. That's what Florida is. Like that, we would still have Roe if they just used Florida as an example. Exhibit A, Tampa. All right, people got to abort. But anyway, the show was very much like this show now. There's 3 comics. There's a host. I was going up last. I was backstage. The host gets backstage. He goes, hey, man, I just want to let you know there's somebody drunk. They're to the right. They're really out of it. I'm like, motherfucker. Okay, fine, whatever. Comes back a second time. He's drunk. He's getting kind of like handsy with the waitress. I'm like, motherfucker. Okay, fine, cool. Comes back the third time. He's like yelling out punchlines. It's really fucking disrespectful. And I'm like, this motherfucker. Okay. I go on stage, I start doing my set, it's fine, right? And then I see this guy on the right, and I see that he looks fucking hammered. I can't see the rest of his body, I just see his face, because it's pretty dark. I'm like, this guy comes to my show, gets drunk, harasses the wait staff. I'm gonna fucking shit on him. I'm gonna roast his ass. I start shitting on him and roasting him. It gets silent. And that's when I found out they had gotten rid of the drunk guy before I got on stage. And I was just shitting on someone with cerebral palsy, yes. How'd I find out? His mom yelled, he has cerebral palsy. And I, in a panic, go, so do I. And everyone was confused. They're like, are there 2 types of cerebral? Does he have the not as bad cerebral? Does he have the Magic Johnson cerebral palsy? You guys have been a good crowd. Been a great crowd. Thank you. Not every time, not every time a comedian has a great crowd. I love when comedians flip out on the audience, but they don't realize they have like 10 minutes left in their set, so then they go back into their routine like nothing happened. And if they want to get paid, they have to fucking finish. where they're like, oh, you're not gonna laugh? You're not gonna fucking laugh, okay? Well, I hope you have that, Jameson. You know what? I hope you make it a double. I hope you make it a fucking triple, motherfucker. You get in your Kia Sorrento and you go on the Sawmill Parkway. You start going 90 and a 60 and you hit some black ice. You put your foot down on the brake pad, but it doesn't work because I fucking cut him, motherfucker. And then you skid off to the side of the road in an embankment, and your seatbelt's stuck. And as the river from the embankment rises in your car, and you think of your family, and you pray to your God, you say to yourself, maybe I should have just laughed more at a fucking comedy show. So dating's weird. All right, thank you guys. Have a good night. Thank you. All my friends who came out. Thank you guys. Have a good night.